Hey everyone, it's us again. Another Saturday night. I don't know if you can hear our dog, but they're being not very helpful right now. And so again, instead of going out, we're here.
Stuck inside.
Yeah, we've spent most of the day though outside doing yard work and starting to garden and stuff, so that's good. But anyway, we'll just go ahead and get started. So earlier this week, I had taken some pork chops out of the freezer, but I really had no idea what I was going to do with them. And so that night, I just started putting stuff together and not measuring because I never measure. And it was really, really good. Like Scott really liked it too, right?
Mm-hmm. It was delicious.
So I'm not even just paying him to say that. He really did like it. So I thought I would try to recreate it tonight, except I'm gonna measure this time. And also the fun part about this is you'll see just how quickly it went, and how easy it was. And like I said, I just threw stuff together. I'm a little bit more unorganized tonight because this is how it usually looks when I'm cooking. I just kind of make it pretty when I'm doing these videos. So to get started, all I've done is I've just started to heat up my pan and just put a generous amount of olive oil on the bottom of it to get it to start to heat up a little bit. And then I have my pork chops, and all I'm gonna do is bread them in flour. And I don't need a ton of flour. That should be enough. I can always get more. And I always season my flour. But seriously guys, this is how I cook usually. I've already made a mess and we're about a minute into this. But whenever you're breading things, you should always season your flour. So just a little salt and pepper, mix it up. Another tip is whenever you want to brown something, always make sure that you kind of pat dry the meat before you put it in the pan to start cooking. Otherwise, one, your breading will just come off of it, and two, it won't brown as nicely. So, like I said, super easy. And then my second one. And again, I'm not trying to get like a ton of breading on this because the sauce that I make with it kind of is the seasoning. So you can always test to see if your oil is hot enough. I don't know if you can see, but like I shook it a little bit and it's starting to bubble. So then I know that it's hot enough. You don't want it so hot that, you know, it splatters you and stuff, because that's not fun. So now basically I would say about 2 or 3 minutes per side, and then I'll check back in with you. Okay, so the pork chops have been cooking, just like I said, for a few minutes each side. They're by no means cooked through yet, and that's fine because we're gonna put them back in the pan later to finish. This was just to get them browned. So with the olive oil, I've lowered my heat significantly because my oven or my smoke detectors are very sensitive. So now I'm gonna add in some butter, and this is 2 tablespoons of butter. See guys, I'm measuring. So I'm gonna throw in my butter. And I need a whisk, which I think is in the dishwasher. Grab my whisk. So basically, just getting the butter melted or almost melted. And then I'm gonna make a roux, which is basically some sort of fat or oil. So in my case, I have butter and olive oil, and then some flour. And you basically, this I can't really measure that well, because you essentially want to put in just enough flour so that it's not a paste. Oh, there we go. Hold on, guys. All right, sorry about that little delay. We live in a 100-year-old house, and our smoke detectors, which are not 100 years old, are very sensitive. So basically, you want to make a roux, which is, I added some flour in, and you want to make sure that you keep stirring it because you don't want it to burn, okay? And then you stir it kind of enough until it's incorporated, and then you start adding in what's gonna make the sauce. And in this case, like I said, we're gonna do like a lemon thyme sauce. So I have some stock here. This is chicken stock. This is actually the last of my chicken stock, so I'm gonna make a roast chicken tomorrow so I can have more stock. I'm gonna measure it. So we have about a cup, which should be fine. So that's gonna be the next thing that I add. And again, just kind of keep stirring so that it all incorporates. You don't want any lumps or anything like that. And as you can see, if you can see this, it's pretty thick already, and that's what you want. So I'm actually just gonna turn this off for a second because my stove is crazy. So next, we wanna add in some wine. Usually if I do like a cup of stock, I usually start with just a half a cup of wine. And again, I'm making this for 2 people, but you can certainly double, triple this recipe. All right, so adding in my wine. And I also am constantly changing the heat on my stove because I don't know why. I'm used to, our old house had a gas range, and so I was able to control the heat a lot better than this. So guys, I am deciding that I think this is actually a little bit thicker than I want. So I'm gonna go to my pantry and grab some more stock. And yes, as much as I love my homemade stock and it's so easy, I do always keep some store-bought stock, just in case. So I'm gonna go ahead and add, a half a cup right now and see if that kind of gets me to where I want to be. Which, I don't know if you can see this now. This is not quite as thick as it was before. So I think this is a bit better. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in, like I said, I usually like to keep that 2-to-1 ratio of stock to wine. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in a 1/4 cup of wine. And please know that I'm literally only measuring this for the sake of this video. Alright, so then we're going to bring this back up, the temperature back up a little bit so we can get it simmering again. And now we need to add in our lemon. So, Scott, can you get me a knife? Alright, so we want to add in our lemon juice. And I happen to have lemons because we got them in our last produce box. See, I already dropped a lemon seed in. which isn't a huge deal unless you unfortunately bite into a lemon seed like I did the other night, and it's not so pleasant. So to help keep that from happening, one trick is you squeeze the lemon kind of over your fingers like this, and that way you'll catch any stray seeds. That kind of, Scott, did you know that?
I did not. I would imagine you probably want to make sure you don't have any open cuts on your hand, though.
Correct. That is a good thought. It'd be like if you had an open cut and were eating crabs. I've got some Old Bay. That would be, I have done that. I know every true Marylander has done that. And it is not pleasant. Alright, so, as you can see, I got all these seeds. I saved them from going into the sauce. So I added my lemon in. And so now we just have to add the thyme. And I'm gonna start with I'm gonna start with 2 teaspoons actually. And this is dry thyme because my fresh herbs just aren't ready quite yet. So that was 2. And I think I might do like a half a teaspoon more. And this is seriously where you smell it. In a second, I'm gonna taste it. All of those things are true. And then salt and pepper again. I always count, so I just did 10 grinds of this. I don't know what that measures out to, guys. I'm gonna guess that was like a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And I did the same. If you look, a lot of recipes actually do like a 2-to-1 ratio of salt to black pepper. I don't know if it's that I don't like my food too salty or I like black pepper more, but I tend to do like a 1-to-1 ratio. And so this is where the important step of tasting it is. See, I don't even have, thought I could be clever and get a spoon from in there. I think it's really good. So one thing that I didn't do this week, but I thought that it would be good, is I defrosted some mushrooms that I had cooked earlier in the week. And I'm gonna add these into the sauce. So it'll be like a lemon thyme mushroom sauce. And if you don't like mushrooms, just leave it out. Like I said earlier this week, we didn't have the mushrooms with it, and it was good. But I thought I would maybe try to fancy it up for you guys. And if you don't have mushrooms already cooked, don't put like raw mushrooms into this sauce like this. You would definitely want to cook them separately and then add them in. So basically it's all done. The sauce is ready. You can see that I wanted to kind of bring it back to a simmer. And then it's time to just finish up your pork chops. And so I'll leave them in here and I'll put a cover on for probably 5 or 10 minutes, which I know is a big range, guys, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be closer to 10 minutes, but I'll probably check on them at 5. So you're just going to want to let them simmer like this, and I'm going to put a lid on. check on them in 5 minutes, and then we're good to go.
So here's a little behind the scenes look of the mess, the wake of destruction after Margaret goes crazy in the kitchen. And yeah, I'm usually the one that ends up having to clean up after her.
Help!
But I do get to taste the fruit of her labor, which is always delicious, so I don't mind.
So guys, this is also a semi-regular occurrence. Scott putting our smoke detector back up because, like I said, it's so sensitive. I swear it's not my fault. Right, Scott? Not my fault.
Yes, dear.
Yeah. Okay, so I did end up letting these simmer for about 10 minutes. I flipped them over after 5 minutes, and that's because these pork chops are pretty thick. If you have thinner pork chops, you could probably get away with just the 5 minutes. I am gonna serve this over couscous because I love couscous. I might do a whole video all about it and all the wonderful ways that you can make it. But tonight it's very plain because the sauce has so much flavor, so I didn't want to add in too many seasonings to the couscous. So I'm just gonna kind of put that. This is my attempt at being fancy, guys, and plating my meals. And then we'll take one pork chop here, one pork chop here, get a spoon to get some of this yummy sauce on top. Make sure we get plenty of mushrooms. Again, I know that a lot of people don't like mushrooms, so you will not hurt my feelings if you don't put mushrooms in this. And as you can see, I actually have a lot of sauce left over. So the recipe that we just did with all of those measurements, that would probably be more appropriate for 4 pork chops. You could, I was thinking about it, and you could probably also do the same thing with like chicken breasts and stuff. But that's it. We're gonna have this along with a salad. Otherwise you could do green beans or broccoli to add in some more veggies, glass of wine, and we're gonna go eat outside. So I just wanted to thank everyone for watching these videos. I've had a few people recently tell me that they've been trying recipes from my blog, which honestly makes me feel like a celebrity, guys. And it also just makes me really happy that the stuff that I'm putting out there that people are trying and enjoying and stuff like that. So we'll try to keep doing these. I hope you're surviving quarantine.
And today is a wonderful day, so try and spend as much time as you can outside. We're eating dinner on our porch in front of our yard, so.
Yeah, and then after dinner we're gonna have a little bonfire, just the 2 of us, which is nice and a little depressing all at the same time.
Maybe someday we'll be able to invite some friends over to the bonfire.
I know. We really wish like we could have friends over again, but soon enough. I know it'll happen soon enough. So bye everybody.
Bye.